This is the biggest reason why freelancers struggle to meet their financial targets and end up overworked and stressed, and sometimes going back to a job they hate. Here's the big mistake: they agree a rate with the client that looks good to them. So they will think $300 for a job. Let's say it's to edit a video or produce a podcast or design a logo, whatever it might be. And they think that's a good rate for that. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with $300 to edit a video. Incredibly, most freelancers don't track their time. They just work until it feels done. So there's a perception that the amount they're charging is a good rate, and then they don't track how many hours they're spending on it. So what ends up happening is they're spending 9, 10 hours on a project that pays $300 and then getting paid $30 an hour. And that is nowhere near where they want to be financially. If you want to get to six figures, your target rate has to be around $70 an hour. So what you have to do is work backwards. When you take a job, you agree the rate, and then you figure out how many hours is the maximum amount of hours I'm going to spend on this project. So $300, 4 hours maximum. Never ever assume your pricing is right if you're not tracking your time. In my opinion, there's no real talent in taking on a job and then working on it endlessly until you feel it's right. The real talent is, how can I get this good enough within a time frame, within a boundary? You've got to put boundaries on your job. The goal here is not perfect work. It's a perfect system that's going to make you six figures. On a related note, I see that this is an issue as well with a lot of perceived low budget jobs. So if there's a job on offer for $50 to $100, I'd see a lot of freelancers turn their nose up at it going, I wouldn't lower myself to that. I couldn't do it. That's too low. But have you actually taken a look at what the job is and can you get it done in a short space of time? Some of my most profitable jobs have actually been the ones that would be perceived as low paying, like $50 or $60, but I spend about 20 or 30 minutes on them. So in that instance, I'm working at a rate of $100 an hour. These are jobs that a lot of my competitors would say no to because they think I'm above that. The skill again is, I've taken that job, I've done the basics right, and I've delivered back to the client without any kind of flash. And they never asked for that. So they're not expecting miracles. And I've not tried to show off all the skills that I have. I've not gone over the top. I've gone, how can I get this done in a short space of time so that I'm super profitable? At the start of every project, ask yourself, can I complete this in a time that supports my hourly rate? And aim for that hourly rate that helps you get to six figures. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from a super talented director that I was working with. And he was nominated for Oscars. He'd won tons of other awards and loads of recognition for the amazing work he'd done. And there was a very simple piece of advice he gave that always stuck with me. He said, there's two words you have to be ready to say all the time. It'll do. The tendency in us is always to work harder and harder and to show off all the skills that we have and try and impress the client and thinking that that will lead to more clients. And it's just a trap of perfectionism, and you're going to end up working into the night. You're going to end up missing out on family time, missing out on personal time if you go down that route of trying to perfect everything. The real skill is, how can I apply what I know as smart as possible to a high enough standard will get you everything you need, and you'll be working less and earning more.